guys, welcome to this FreePic tutorial. This time we're going to create an effect called low poly, and we're going to use Illustrator for that. I'm going to use a FreePic image which you can find below. So let's go for it. First we open Illustrator. Let's create a new document and let's go for letter size and go for landscape mode. Click OK. And now let's place the dog image on our canvas. Let's select this and we place it right here. It's a beautiful dog, by the way. Let's make it a little bigger, something like this. Move it lower, and that's it. Okay, now we're going to View tab and we're going to select Show Grid because we're going to use that grid a lot. Now we go to View and make sure Snap to Grid is selected. I'm going to explain that later. So now we go to Preference and Units and Grid, and you can play around with these settings if you want. I already did that. And now let's go to the Layers tab and we're going to rename this layer as Dog. And we're going to create a new layer and call it Low Poly because this is where we're going to create all the low poly effect. So let's lock this dog layer so we don't move it by accident. And let's select our low poly layer and we're going to grab the pen tool and make sure that the fill is empty. And for the stroke we're going to grab a bright color, something like full magenta, something like this. Yeah, because we're going to need a bright color for this. And now we're going to start drawing the edges of the face, and you can see how the pen tool snaps to the grid points. That's why we selected the snap to grid. So we just draw path over here. Try to make as many points as you can because that way the low poly effect will be much more detailed. We go around the ear. You don't have to be very accurate here. It doesn't matter if the path doesn't link to the picture. Just make sure you just select the face of the dog. We are almost finished here. Let's continue to draw this dog's face. We are now drawing the mouth and we're going to stop at the half because we only need one half of the dog's face because we are going to duplicate the rest of it. We go completely vertical on here. Let's go 1 point back and something around here. Yes, something around here is perfect. Let's leave it there and let's close the dog's face. Some more points here. And now if we shut this layer off, you can see the dog silhouette on here. Okay, now what we're going to do is to create all the rest of the face. Let's draw like the mouth or the nose or the eye on the dark part of the ear. Let's start with the nose for now. Just as before, we don't have to be so accurate. Just drawing these lines, and let's create this, the inside of the nose. Just make sure that you click on the points and not on the half of the path. Let's now the eye. The eye, we have to try to make as many points as we can because we need to be very detailed about the eye. Now let's draw this part of the eye. Oops. And now the white area. Oh, I messed up again. Okay, something like this could work. And let's see what we can draw now. Oh yes, this white area could be interesting. So let's draw it from here. We go down to the nose, and we can also draw maybe this dark area. Let's go for the mouth now. Let's just draw the mouth. We go down from here. And now we can draw this dark area on the dog's face. Let's see. Let's finish this dark area. We can now draw this dark area on the ear. That way we could finish this. Let's just close it around here. And now if we shut this layer off, we can see our dog's face. I think we have to draw a little square over here so that the eye has some reflection. That will come very handy later. So what we need to do now is to fill these parts of the face with some more path, like some triangles or polygons, something like this. Let's grab from point to point. Make sure you grab the points and not the middle of the path or something. We just fill it with something like this. If you make a mistake, just go back and that's it. We have to fill all these spaces because later we're going to fill them with colors. Now I'm going to fast forward this part because this part is going to take some time and I don't want you to fall asleep on me. Just remember to fill all the spaces we created with some more path, creating some triangles over all the dog's face. And now we have all covered. And if we shut this layer off, we can see our face, our dog face is much more complicated now. Now we want to select all the path that we just created because we're going to the stroke panels and we're going to select round corners so that we don't have these weird points that sometimes happens. As you can see, everything is fine now. And now we are going to select again all the path. Just click on this circle here so that we make sure that everything is selected, and we go to Pathfinder and select Divide. And what we did right here is to separate all these triangles into many objects. As you can see, everything is now separated. And this is excellent because we're going to fill each and every triangle. Now we're going to select one by one all these triangles and fill it with the image color, with the color picker. We select the color picker and grab the image color. You can later turn these colors around. You could also select all these triangles over here on the layer panel, but I'm going to do it manually because I think it's easy. So just continue to fill all these triangles. Remember to grab the color picker and select your tone. Later you can change these tones to the color you want, something that looks maybe more fluid, because these colors tend to be too different, and on the final image maybe it won't look so good. So you can change these colors to what you think could be right. Something like this. This ear, for instance, should be like this brown, light brown color. And I'm going to fast forward this part too because it could take some time. Just make sure to fill every triangle. If you happen to miss any triangle, you can just look for it on the layers panel and select it on the circle and fill it. So now we have finished our dogs, half of this. You can shut this layer off and let's hide the grid, and let's fix some of these triangles. For example, this could be this color instead. We could also make these triangles darker so that it actually looks like the dog's mouth. This part is actually up to you. If you feel that yours is okay as it is, you can leave it like that. I'm just going to change some of these colors on the nose, play around with some darker tones so that it actually looks like a dog's nose. So when you're happy with the result, you just select all the half and let's group it. Let's duplicate it and reflect it. So now we have the other half. We move it over here, and now if we compare to our original image, we can see that it's a very nice dog's face that we just created. But we can still fix some of these triangle colors. For example, this nose needs some corrections. Let's select these triangles and let's place some darker colors, something like this. Now it looks more like a dog's nose. Yes, I think this is nice. Let's move this a little to the right. Now let's do something cool with the eyes. They don't need to be in low poly, so let's go for normal eyes. let's create a new layer and let's call it eyes, and let's lock this layer and let's create some new eyes for our dog. We can just create an oval, something like this, and duplicate it a couple of times, because one of them could be this brown or a lighter brown, could be like this, and the other one will be a black oval. Now we just grab all these objects and go again to Pathfinder and divide. Now let's remove this and let's add a little white circle to create the reflection on the eye. Something like this could work. Let's see. Maybe over here. Yes, this is much better. Let's duplicate it. So now that our dog is finally complete, let's create a background. Let's go for a new layer and let's call it background, and let's make it, I don't know, light gray, maybe. Could be something like this. I think this is nice. Or we could make it a gradient. Let's go for radial. First we grab our object. Let's go for radial and something over here. I think 10% may work. It's just to add a little something. And finally, we're going to give our dog a name. For that, we're going to create a new layer and call it dog name. I want to use something like a ribbon for the dog's name. I found an excellent one on Freepik. You can find it yourself. I will give you the link. Let's paste it over here. We align it. Now, how can we name this dog? I think Orion could be a great name for it. I think this is a popular dog's name. I'm going to choose this font, which I really like, and put it over here. Make it bigger, and let's see how this looks. Now this looks very good, but let's unlock these layers and let's align this a little better. Something over here. Now our dog is complete and with a very nice name. So I really hope that you enjoy this technique. As you can see, it's very easy to accomplish once that you have learned it. So I hope that you go and try it on your pet's name, or you know that you can download some more images on Freepik. Thank you for joining me through this tutorial, and I hope I'll see you next time.